Well, hello, good evening, everyone. It is 9 p.m. here in the UK. This is JFI Radio. My name is Josefa Fawcett. As ever, you are very warmly welcomed. This has been a whole day of celebration of World Radio Day. The theme, radio and artificial intelligence, and the subtext of AI being a tool, not just a voice. And this final live broadcast is targeted at my lovely colleagues over in the Americas, the North Americas, Canada, winding down from their hard day at work and the end of the week, of course, and Latin America just entering into your prime evening time. So I hope this lands with you really well. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, as you can tell, I've toned down the excitement for two reasons. Number one, it's the afternoon, it's the evening, and we've had a busy day. Number two, well, I think this is a lovely point at which I can reflect, you can reflect on all the other live broadcasts that I've done throughout the day. You know, this has been a really interesting topic. I'm so pleased that I decided to get involved this year. I usually do get involved, but not every single year. But I have been doing this since about 2015, 2016, something like that. And so, yeah, 11 years podcasting, at least 10 years on and off doing World Radio Day. And it really hit home to me earlier on today when I was interviewed by Philippe over in Brussels for UNESCO, who he's coordinating World Radio Day. And he was just so blown away by the kind of topics that I've been developing, the things that I've been doing to celebrate today. I think that particular interview went really well. It was only short, and I'll put that up online as well, but not tonight. Um, it has been amazing day. I am tired. I will admit to being tired, but really very, very happy because all of the topics I've been covering, I know are going to hit home for all of you at some point, whether you are educators, whether you are in industry, whether you're a student, whether you're just looking after your own CPD and lifelong learning. Now, for some of you listening to this might be your very first time experiencing JFI radio. And of course, this first time you're experiencing it is on a day like today. But I have been doing this for a long time. And as an educator, as a trainer, facilitator, executive coach, yeah, I like talking to people, but I also like to try and bring something of substance, something that will help people to think, to work through various issues themselves. And I suppose that's the learning practitioner in me that finds this so rewarding, so exciting. And even though you might be suspecting that I'm a little bit tired now, and I definitely am, there's still an excitement there. There's still an enjoyment there. I love learning. I love helping people learn, and I love being a lifelong learner myself. So, what am I going to bring to you today? Well, just starting the way I've started all the others, and this is primarily for people who haven't met me before. Yes, the name is Josefa and Fawcett, and the Josefa is an Eastern European name. It's from Poland, and I have spent the last 24 years working around the world. I've been truly blessed with a work career that has been, even before the name portfolio career was created, I've been doing that. 42 countries, 5 continents, 19 industries, all 5 economic sectors. And if you're wondering why I do this World Radio Celebration across 16 hours in a day, covering every time zone, it's because the podcasting part, the passion that I have for podcasting, it's just changed my professional life completely. I was a trainer and I started as a trainer, but I then discovered that I was probably quite a noisy trainer. And I was genuinely, and am still genuinely interested in people and people from different cultures with different ideas and views. And that's what fuels me. That's what fires me to continue along the podcasting area. Now, I said I started JFI Radio in 2015, but I actually started JFI with a slightly different name. It was called the Pole Experience, Professional and Organizational Learning Excellence, and that was back in 2002. So the JFI radio and podcasting came quite a bit later from when I started as a consultant. What I've always wanted to do is give people a voice, and support people in their thinking, in their professional development, particularly those who maybe had something really important to say but didn't know how to say it, or were overlooked by the traditional methods of communication and media, or maybe their own confidence got in the way. In the early days, I used to do presentation skills, and I used to teach people how to find their voice, how to create something of value to say to others so that they would hear them. And you could see people as they were going through my presentation skills training, they were growing in confidence. Their stature changed, the shoulders went back, the head was lifted. Suddenly, they felt that they had something really valuable to share and wanted to share it with others. And when they got a good response, it just boosted their confidence no end. Now, there's something that's really interesting about all of this as well. And you've noticed in all of the recordings and broadcasts that I've done with you today, I've had my microphone with this beautiful furry muff. And I was talking about the furry wind muff in one of the previous posts. It's so tactile and lovely to stroke. And I mentioned that when I do bespoke podcasting at events, people always like to stroke the wind muff. Apart from anything else, it injects an element of humour. And you know what? That humour helps people open up and talk to me. And whether they're education innovators in Latvia, whether they're business excellence practitioners in the UAE, whether they are vice chancellors and former presidents of higher educational institutions. They all like to stroke the wind muff, and they all find it, I don't know why, it seems to break down a barrier to talking. And once we get talking, it's just like I'm doing here with you now. We just have a conversation. The only difference is there's a microphone and a recorder capturing everything, which I then turn into a podcast later. Now, for years, I did live interviews, I did conference coverage, I did authentic conversations, and absolutely loved it. Still love it. It is a passion project. But you know, AI, and this particular topic from UNESCO was brilliant because AI is rewriting the rule book for everybody in our industry, including me. And I suppose the transformation, this AI transformation that nobody is talking about honestly, is something I just want to raise in this live broadcast as a final end to today. But of course, you realise that nothing is ever the end. There will always be something that I'll come up with and think, yes, I'm going to do a podcast on that. So, if you're a future leader, if you're maybe a knowledge worker, maybe you're a podcaster, everybody is telling you to simply learn AI or get involved with AI agents or embrace AI tools. And you know what? They're not wrong, but that's not the whole story. Here's what's actually happening that no one's really preparing you for, and maybe I can leave you with some thoughts at the end of today. Contrary to all the scaremongering that's going on, AI isn't going to replace you, but it is going to change what makes you valuable and what makes what you know valuable. And a lot of organisations aren't actually being honest about that shift. For future knowledge workers, your value isn't going to be about accessing information anymore or even analysing it. AI can already do that faster than you ever will. Your value is going to be about your judgment in context with what AI comes up with. It's about knowing when the AI output is plausible but completely wrong. It's about understanding what questions to ask that AI can't generate on its own. It's about recognizing when efficiency isn't the right goal. Effectiveness is. You can hear the shift. There is a shift. There is a difference of approach. If you're a future leader, the AI powered leader, well, that sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, when someone uses that kind of narrative, it sounds so seductive. It's about faster decisions, it's about better data, it's about predictive insights. AI can optimize anything you want. It can identify patterns in existing data that you're looking at. But you know, leadership isn't about seeing what's coming that has no precedent. It's about making judgment calls. It's about recognizing when the data is contradictory. It's about the human brain, the human work of bringing people along with them when change is uncomfortable. And right now, AI is making a lot of people really uncomfortable. What about if you're a future podcaster or a radio broadcaster? You know, AI can generate content. I've already spoken about that in many of the shows that I've done today. It can edit audio. It can write show notes. These are all fantastic, and a lot of the things that I do as well. But that's not your competitive advantage as a podcaster anymore. Your advantage is your years of lived experience that you bring to conversations. It's about the natural conversations that you have with people. It's about your ability to get the very best out of somebody else, out of their mind, out of their ideas. The networks that you build as a podcaster across industries, across continents, across cultures is so valuable. It is probably one of the most rewarding things that I find. And, you know, podcasting has always been a passion project for me. And over the coming months, it's going to be a little bit more than that because I'm launching a whole series of rather unique CPD accredited podcasts that will transcend all the cultural divides and give people an opportunity to really open their minds to lifelong learning. So I'm taking what was just a passion project and turning it into something else. I don't go for sponsorship. I don't pull money in that way at all. So this will be a very first attempt to do something with my podcasts. Look out for them. Over the next few months, I'll be publicising. They're called Podcast Pearls, but that's all I'm going to tell you at the moment. What they will do and what future podcasters will do is connect human ideas to other human ideas, thinking, creativity, innovation. AI can't do that. AI doesn't know what it doesn't know or hasn't been programmed to know. So here's a little bit of reality. The institutions training you right now are mostly teaching you how to use AI effectively or efficiently. I think efficiently is probably the better word. They're teaching you how to do it, but that isn't sufficient anymore. They should be teaching you different things. They should be teaching you how to question AI outputs as opposed to how to get AI inputs from some of the prompts that you're learning. They should teach you how to be critical and do critical analysis, to recognize its limitations, to understand fundamentally whose interest AI really serves. Is it yours? And for educators, this for me is the key to helping those students in higher education, many of them who are being completely driven by AI bots and not their own critical thinking skills at all. But this is where the opportunity is, and it is massive. This is the key. Earlier on in one of the podcasts, I was talking about authentic assessment, and this relates very closely to that. So, exams and rote learning and memorization, that's not going to cut it for the future. Critical thinking, innovation, and questioning is. We're entering a period right now where human skills, judgment skills, context, relationship building, I've talked about that a lot today, ethical reasoning, and creativity. This is what human beings need to become more valuable, not less. You see, everyone's going to have access to the same AI tools. So you're going to churn out much the same thing as everybody else. Your differentiator is you. If you're building a career in the next decade, you don't need to choose between human skills and AI skills. You need both. Use AI to handle what you can, especially the things that you want to automate. Then you can focus your energy, your human energy, on the work that requires wisdom, not just intelligence. I have got to tell you, as I titled myself about 6, 7 years ago, people kept saying, "What's your title? What's your job role?" And I went through all the normal things about saying I was a director, I was a training manager, I was organizational development. None of it actually made any sense to them or to me. I then hit upon something that I've stuck with: future capability architect. Future, not now. But it's not about relearning past techniques and ideas. It's about looking to the future and what we don't even know yet. Capability is about upskilling and reskilling. And architect, for me, this is the key word. It's about putting the fundamentals and the foundations in place. So that's what I'm sticking with: future capability architect. And the future for people and the development of their capability, it's going to be for those who can actually work with AI without letting the AI define their work. Just let that absorb for a moment. And let me leave you with 3 final things to remember as I come to the end of what has been a wonderful but slightly tiring day. First of all, number 1, AI is always going to give you speed, but you as a human are going to give yourself wisdom. And speed without wisdom just gets you to the wrong answer faster. Number 2, In a world where everyone has access to the same AI tools, your competitive advantage is not going to be the technology, it's your lived experience, it's your network, and it's your judgment. And right now, that's what AI just cannot replicate. And number 3, please don't let AI redefine what's valuable. Yes, use it to automate, use it to make things faster. You can then focus on the work that genuinely matters, the human work of connection, of context, and of critical thinking. And the final part. The questions are still out there. Will AI replace me? And the question is, I suppose, am I building skills that will become increasingly more valuable in an AI world, or am I competing with AI? You know, you can't do the latter because AI will always do what you do cheaper and faster. And that's why upskilling and reskilling is where things are at for now in 2026 and beyond. Upskilling is about getting greater depth of knowledge and understanding in your specialist field. Reskilling is about broadening, it's about breadth of understanding and maybe associated topics and ideas and thoughts. And you need both. It's not just about learning which AI tools to use, it's about developing how to use them, but most importantly, to know when not to use them and when building relationships is the way forward. When strengthening your judgment so you can spot when things are wrong. And the ones who are going to thrive from now onwards won't be the ones that adopted the best AI tools or AI agents. They'll be the ones that have learned to use it wisely by really focusing on their irreplaceable human skills. And that's what will make the difference between good enough and genuinely excellent. And it's this last point that I hope comes through all of my broadcasts today, that AI is indeed a tool, not a voice, but only if we remember that the voice, the judgment, and the humanity behind the microphone is what radio and podcasting has always been about and what must remain. Thank you so very much for being part of my journey through World Radio Day. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed having you there, knowing that you're the other side of the microphone, even though I can't see you. Thank you all very much, and look out for my future podcasts from Dubai in April, and also my podcast Pearls, and maybe re-listening to some of these. Thank you all very much indeed, and I'm going to bid you good night.